So welcome along for those of you who are new to Vobling, or those of you who are already with Vobling, perhaps existing customers, or maybe even part of our reseller network. So purpose of today is to give you a live demonstration, which could be used for a number of ways, whether it's your first experience of the VR Fire Trainer, or perhaps it's to learn a little bit more about how you could use it in sessions or how we use it. I'm Darren. I'm based in the UK. I'm part of Vobling UK, so certainly part of the team. We also do some training alongside the extinguisher as well. So we use it inside sessions, certainly on a weekly and sometimes daily basis. And I've seen the development come, right from the early days, which some of you certainly saw before I did, all the way through until the product we've got today, and what that's going to look like. And hopefully we're going to have someone here to be able to discuss what that's going to look like in the near future as well. So I'm going to take off my kind of screen now, take off my background, and see me here. And I'm going to start by showing you the hardware, the product itself. So this is a 6 kilogram non-pressurized extinguisher. It is full of powder, but being that it's non-pressurized and there is clip stopping it, agent, force of the extinguisher will not come out as we press the handles. So of course that is kind of the clever part, as it were. You can see here where we've got a green light, which means it's currently connected to the headset by Bluetooth. So that's already on. You can also see a simple USB connection. If I bring it a little bit closer, you can see the USB connection in there, which is how we charge the device as well. So the other thing you can see, which is slightly different from most, is that most headsets don't have the controller here. So that's a nice clip that's secured on nicely in the middle. And the last thing we have is this part here, which is, of course, the pin, which is a big part of using a fire extinguisher, or certainly learning how to use a fire extinguisher. So that's it. I'm certainly making it look lighter than it is. It has got some weight to it, which is certainly one of the sort of driving decisions or purchasing decisions here in the UK, is that it is a real full-size extinguisher that is heavy, and it is heavy to use like in the real world. One of the only adaptations that is different is that we have a controller on the end here, and the only button you need to use to keep it super simple during its use is the button at the back here. The other buttons, just to make it easy, there's one thing you can do with the kind of joystick area, but the only thing you really need to use is this button at the back here. So during applications with learners, if you're going through perhaps 15 people, you'd certainly need to explain that button, but luckily that button only. And of course, to extinguish the fire and actually use it in the real world, we need to pull the pin and then squeeze the handles. And I'm sure, as your training will tell you, not only going to do that, we're going to pull, we're going to aim, we're going to squeeze, and then we're going to sway slowly side to side. So we'll go through that. You may or may not know, depending on who's on the call, but it's certainly something that is good practice when using this. So what I'm going to do now is to cast my screen. Okay, and I can see this one's the bed that's on fire just there. I'm going to pick an extinguisher, and just for a moment, I'm just going to wait to show you how that one progresses. And as I look down, pull the pin out, and each time I squeeze the handle, you can see it inside. Okay, and then there's a bit of information for you. So it says you were successful, you managed to put out a fire in a safe way, and the water mist extinguisher is a great choice for fires in small spaces. But certainly as we're going through, it's really loud in my ears, but it gives you that information at the end. Now, if you're having a session for workplace or a mandatory workplace requirements, you may have 10 learners. To keep them engaged, this is a really good way to turn it into a kind of competition between them. That's what we find during training. It is a serious subject. This really adds, quite a light bit of competition to them, which really helps during the training session. So that's one way of using the application. I just want to show you one more. And what I'm going to do is show you the lithium extinguisher with a lithium battery, which I don't know in your territories where you are and different parts around Europe. For us, it's really important, and it's growing ever so big because, of course, lithium battery, especially in cars, car fires are so hard to extinguish. So I'll show you as well because it's the one that operates differently from the others. So that gives you, it's a completely different type of scenario. That one's all about the cool down on the left, or thermal runaway, as it's called during lithium battery extinguishers, where the cells get damaged and it creates that runaway that just gets hotter and hotter. That's the reason why, as I pulled it away, as you saw, the thermal sort of gauge on the left went right up, and again, it becomes very, very hard to extinguish. Most fire brigades would tell you if you had an option of using one of these in a space like this, actually a lot of the time you'll probably be safer to get out. And that's because we're really trying to educate people of the dangers of using lithium extinguishers. I'm going to stop sharing that screen now and start to discuss just a little bit more about how to use it. So one of the things I like to just say at this point is how easy it is to use in a training session. So the whole purpose of the fire extinguisher when it comes to, for us as a training organisation as well as Vobling UK, is that it is one of those things that you don't have to add on huge amounts of time. You don't have to add on a whole separate session just for fire extinguisher usage, which at the moment in the UK, we've certainly got two choices between sort of fire warden training being a full day because they're having to spend so long setting up equipment outside, using gas unnecessarily, using water, using CO2 into the environment for no reason, when we have something that's better than the real thing. And that's because we can use it multiple times under different types of fires and use every fire extinguisher type and see how they behave. That for us is the biggest win we've had in the UK, is that you can use every fire type sustainably, and of course the engagement level is really high. So that's from us. Of course, we do have, very lucky on the call to have someone here from our development team who is going to answer some questions, perhaps tell us a little about development. I hope you won't mind if you could introduce yourself, please.
My name's Linus. I'm one of the VR developer at Vobling, and working a lot around the hand tracking right now for the application. So if you guys later want to see that, I can show you a little of the new UI and maybe something from our new pass-through environment.
Linus, one of the things that I've seen being involved in it now, I think it's come up 2.5 years, that kind of time, is the development is one of the things that our customers look forward to the most. And that's the thing that has always been the most impressive thing about working with Vobling from this side of things from us who's using it in training as well. Yeah, if there's anything you could sort of show us, is there anything you can show us perhaps that you are working on? I know you've mentioned some things there. Just while Linus is doing that, yeah, I mean, these guys are, I've seen other applications that are trying to achieve the same thing. Yeah, what these developers do is just the highest quality work. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in there, and I'll sort of.
This is the new UI, the new menu that we are working on, and it's what you see here now is roughly what we think it's going to look. So maybe some buttons, some text, some layout will change before the release, but roughly this is how we think it's going to work. So you see you have your hands over here, tracking, you have the controls over there. So we track 4 points. We track 2 hands and 2 controllers. So you can grab this menu with your hands, and if you have something behind the menu, you can just look wherever you want. If maybe you have the menu rendering before like a fire, if you don't see the fire, you can just grab the menu and just see where you are. So if you lose your menu somewhere, if you cannot find it, if you don't want to have your menu open, you can close that. But if you want to bring it up again, you just press your thumbs up and you get all sorted. We all have courses, so we have collected all the training sessions into one button, courses. So you have like the lithium battery that Darren showed you. Then we have a little more explanation about lithiums. We have simple, test your skills. Yeah, so a longer explanation about the training. We can press the training button and we'll see this screen over here. So we will have a small explanation how you choose your environment, your extinguishers, and yeah, stuff like that. On the left side, you see all the fire types you can choose from. So you can choose the A fires, and you can see the scenarios in the A, B, lithium, and so on. So if you press the A, we choose the forklift scenarios. You have this carousel for the extinguishers. You can press water maybe, and I want to have foam. Maybe I just want to press the button over here to choose the water mist. So this is how you are now going to choose the single scenarios or training, as we call it here. As I said before, maybe we're gonna stay with scenarios button or training. So this is just a rough copy of how it's gonna look. We also have Darren's favorite, My Combos, where you find your combination here, your training over here. You can press 1, you'll see which is included in this training. You can edit on training. Maybe I don't want to just water anymore. I just want to have maybe the water mist over here. Confirm, and you will save it. You just want the controllers to be like a tracking points for the extinguisher. So the extinguisher is for extinguish fire, and your hands will be the main thing to navigate through the menu or report cards or whatever you see on the canvas. Yeah, so that's the main thing. Not everyone is strong as Darren, who can hold extinguisher all the time and press the buttons, but we're not going to force you to hand tracking. So if you want to use hand tracking, we gladly want you to use it. But if you still want to use the control as a control to choose in the menu, you still will have the access to do that.
You know, that definitely looks a lot more modern than where we are now, which is nice to see. And the improvements that I've seen come through, it also means you don't have to stand there holding it and pointing to learners. So from a trainer perspective, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, that they can run through it without having to hold it the whole time. Amazing job. Amazing job.
It's worked on a lot, so I will show you the video, and if you have some questions, you can take it after. Yeah, so that's a short video of the extinction, like the pass-through environment.
That's the first time I've seen that. That wasn't the video I thought. This is further. So there's an expression in the UK. I don't know if any of you heard it. Grinning like a Cheshire cat. That's probably what I was doing over here. So apologies if I looked a bit excited. But this is, yeah, longer. You know, this is awaited and taken an awful lot of work from these, you know, great developers, and Oscar, who, you know, isn't in the call today. But yeah, what a fantastic job he's doing.
I just want to mention that if it wasn't clear, we have a built-in smoke simulation system. So smoke billows up and rises to your ceiling and then builds up closer and closer, which I think is super cool. Well, I'll go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you a little bit of what I was talking about, gathering data and so forth. So this is something that's a work in progress, currently in a very early stage, and just something to outline the general idea of what we want to achieve. So what do we want to achieve? We want our users to be able to track their students or trainees, their skills, their performances, and also just to make sure that the people that you train or maybe your employees have up-to-date trainings. So currently it's divided into 4 sections, but one is just a home screen, so 3 sections. It's groups, it's certificates, and then it's actual training events. So let's take a look at groups. So a group could be either a company or a department at a company, or just a general collection of people. So here I have created IKEA, and we click on IKEA and we can see the people employed at IKEA and the certificates that the people at IKEA hold. So currently it's a whole lot of people that have no certificates, 494 to be exact, and a measly 6 that have pass. So if we click on, let's see, Irma here, you can see that Irma has done the pass training, and she did it 25 days ago. We can go ahead and delete that. And here we can see the certificates that we have added to our account. And before I give Irma a certificate, I'm going to go ahead and show the certificate page. So on the certificate page, you are able to either use the pre-made certificates, or you can go ahead and create your own certificates. So if we have a look at pass here, here is just sample text that I've put in, but a description that fits the title of the certificate, and then also a validation length in days. So let's head back to IKEA, and let's go ahead and click on Irma. And let's say that Irma has just been employed at this company, and Irma works at an office, and or we can even see where Irma works. She's at HR. So if you work at HR, we want all employees at HR to have done the pass training. So we'll go ahead and say that Irma needs pass training. Then we can see that Irma sort of has the pass training. What we're doing here is we're saying that Irma needs to know pass. And before she's even done the training, we can say that she needs to be able to, or has done, or should know the pass technique. So Irma has the pass technique, but she has not completed it. So we can go ahead and select Irma, and if we want, we can select multiple employees, and then we can go ahead and say start a new training. And we'll say, let's do this training in 2 days on Wednesday at, yeah, sure, 1:45 sounds fine. Let's say pass. And then we can go ahead and send the email invite, and on Irma's side, she will receive a invitation to this training event. And when we head to the calendar, we can see that we have a training event on Friday. No, wait, it should be this one. What date is it? It's the 26th. Yeah, it should be this one, exactly. And here we have a page that summarizes the training. So who's attending? It's Irma. We're doing the pass technique. And if we go ahead and scan this QR code, and the idea is that you should either print this out or have a display that displays this QR code, and Irma scans this QR code, she will be taken to a quiz. So Irma goes in, she types in her name, she logs in, and she completes a fire safety quiz. We don't have to go through the whole quiz, but either way, after Irma has completed this quiz, her pass certificate will be updated to be completed at this date. And generally, as I said, it's at an early stage, but we want people like an administrator to have access to all this information, granular information, and most and foremost, we want, because as we've defined here in our certificate, it's valid for a year. So in a year's time, we will get a notification that says that, hey, it's time for Irma to do that pass technique again. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, that's looking great. And now I've seen that, it's, yeah, very exciting. And I think your use case there where it's in hospital, we've certainly got some hospitals who've purchased this in the UK. They often train hundreds or actually thousands of staff over a period. I know they struggle with keeping record actually of who's done what training where, and they're still using old manual Excel spreadsheets. You know, this is such a nice way to help our customers, you know, to at least look after the training side when it comes to fire. So yeah, very well done. Yeah, a nice addition. Thank you to you both for your input. It's very valuable. There's an awful lot to go through. 3 sort of new things that are going to happen in the next however long when all 3 of them are launched. But very exciting times for the Vobling customers currently and prospective customers, and certainly us resellers going forwards. So thank you very much for attending. I hope you found it valuable. I know I certainly have.